Hey all, been a while. I'll talk about that later. I've been, at the end of the video, presumably. Yes. So, this is, as the title says, my vlog on the Batman v Superman, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Which I just saw. And cap her off to a long evening. It is now, in fact, just after 3 in the morning as I record this, which, believe it or not, is not the most insane time I've ever recorded. My hours are crazy these days. Just being cautious. My hours are crazy, so I've recorded later than this, but this is, before I get into the actual movie, I just want to partially explain why I'm recording so late. And bear with me, because I know I have a tendency to blather on, but this is kind of what kind of mindset I saw it in. This movie, Batman vs. Superman, has been, for some reason, has been showing basically at 2 times during the day. Like at noon, which is ridiculous. Who wants to see a movie at noon? And at 10:30 at night. Which is even more ridiculous because the freaking thing, it's like, I don't know precisely how long it is. It's between 2.5 and 2.25 hours long. 2.5, yeah, 2.25, 2.5. It's somewhere in between there. So it's, it starts at 10:30, give or take. That's, yeah. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous time to, but it was what I had. So, okay, I'll go over 10:30. But then there's another details that, my car, that I was driving to the theater in was, it was very low on gas. It was basically running on fumes. And, I said, people in the know had said, oh, that should be plenty enough to get you there and back. But I wanted to make sure, so it's like, okay, take a little time in advance so you can fill up at the local gas station before you head over there. But when I got to the local gas station, still with a little bit of time in advance, mind you, a little bit, I'm doing fine, great, I'll get there a little bit early. No, I didn't get there a little bit early because the gas station, the pumps would not accept my card, the credit card I was using to pay for it. They wouldn't accept it, and they said, please go to the cashier. There was no cashier. Place was closed. It was 9:45, and this was like, nobody was there at 9:45. They probably should have been, but the place was closed. So by the time I realized that no, I was not going to be able to get gas there, my extra time had been gobbled up, and I had to go. I live in the country, and the nearest theater is like 20 minutes, half an hour sort of drive away over in the next valley. So I had to drive over the hills at night, running on fumes with the gas like, you're going to run out, and, so by the time I got there, I was, and I didn't have time to get gas. I had time to rush to the theater, and that's the frame of mind I was in when it started. Freaked out. Ugh. I made it. But at what, So that may have colored slightly. That little tale of woe may have colored slightly my perspective on the movie. But so I figured, just in the interest of basic fairness, to tell you that first. So the movie. How was the movie? Well, short answer, not great. Longer answer, that's what the rest of the video is for. I'll start out by giving you a brief précis of the plot. And it is a brief précis because it's a very brief plot. Basically, it's a sequel to Man of Steel. So there's Superman and there's Batman, and this is a new Batman. It's not the Dark Knight sort of that Batman. But, it's a new one. It's the Ben Affleck Batman. And the Ben Affleck Batman does not much care for Superman because of all the stuff. At the end of Man of Steel, if you still haven't seen Man of Steel, I'm sorry, this is a spoiler. But, it's not exactly a spoiler, but he destroys half of Metropolis, basically. And everybody on the internet is already talking about how, Superman doesn't do that sort of thing. And yet he gets away with it. Well, one thing I will give in this movie's favor is that he does not just get away with it. There are people who are mad at him for this, and they're saying, what has he brought to us? He's so powerful, and he crashed the city down around our heels. And Batman is mad at him for this, because, he's got some, he had some friends in Metropolis, or whatever, he had some employees who got, Bruce Wayne has stuff everywhere. And so, he's mad at Superman. Superman's mad at him, because Batman, outlaw! You've seen it before. They don't. And then there's Lex Luthor, who doesn't like Superman. And then, there's the wild card. There's this Wonder Woman, who just kind of pops up. It's never really... And I understand why, because she's going to get her own movie soon, but it's never really explained just who exactly she is. You're just kind of supposed to know. It's like, of course, you know the base. She's one of them. But anyway, that's the story, basically. Batman doesn't like Superman. Superman doesn't like Batman. Wonder Woman is in the middle, doesn't care. Lex Luthor is, Superman, I don't like you. I'm going to make sure I got dastardly deeds afoot. And the isn't much of an exaggeration, because Jesse Eisenberg is playing this guy seriously on here. Anyway, it's all leading up to a fight. And, they fight. And there's some stuff beyond that, and that's right. Very simple plot. Does not need to be 2.5 hours long. But, right. So, let me start with the good stuff first. Because I'm honestly a fairly forgiving sort of person when it comes to movies. If any of you have seen any of my written reviews over on the Mutant Reviewers, I don't think there have been some movies I kind of tore a new one on that, but even with those, I don't think there's been a movie I've reviewed where I couldn't find anything good to say about it. because I don't like. I'm not the sort of person who's like the worst movie ever. No. So, and it's the same here. There was some good stuff to say about it. There is some good stuff to say about it. So let's start. There's some good performances. I wasn't one of those people who were going, oh, Ben Affleck, no, you can't have Ben Affleck as... You can't have Ben Affleck as Batman? No! Boo! Actually, I said as much in an earlier sort of video where I talked about, no, Ben Affleck is a good actor, and he does a good job as Batman. He's... doesn't get a heck of a lot to... Well, right, but positives. He's decent as Batman. What's his name? Notes. Henry Cavill, Superman. He's fine. He's a little bland, but Superman has never exactly been, leaking extra character. He's Superman. He doesn't need to be. Excuse me. He doesn't need to be ultra deep and complex, but he's fine. And Gal Gadot is it? I think it might be pronounced Gale, but it's spelled Gal. So Gal Gadot, plays Wonder Woman, and she's actually the one I was kind of looking forward to seeing, because like I said, I was pretty sure Batman was going to be fine, Superman was going to be fine, but Wonder Woman, this is her on-screen live-action debut. So I was interested to see how she was, and she was pretty good. I mean, again, but positives. Gal Gadot is a good actress, it seems to me. This is the first thing I've ever seen her in that I can recall, but she did a good job. She's obviously not American. The character isn't American. She's got a bit of an indistinct sort of an accent. I think it's supposed to be Greek, or something along those lines, Mediterranean, which is good for the character, and Jeremy Irons wasn't bad as Alfred. He didn't have a whole lot to do, but he wasn't bad. And there was an origin sequence for Batman, his parents get shot, blah, blah. Which was not needed at all in the course of the movie, but it was pretty well done. It went on for a bit. It was, but as they go, it's probably one of the better live action ones I've seen. My favorite, I think, is still the one in the original Tim Burton Batman. It's simple and it's well done and it's impressionistic and it's brief. But this one wasn't bad. I've kind of run out of immediate positives, so let's just talk about the rest. Gods. I really wanted to like this movie. I knew it was not going to be the greatest thing ever, but, well, hang on a second. I got an Exhibit A here. This is I just got this a few days ago, actually. And this is a collection of some of the earliest issues of the World's Finest Comic, which is, the team up of Batman and Superman originally. And you read this, and this is like late Golden Age, early Silver, and you read this, and I don't know but look at these pages. Look at basically any page. Any page in here. It's, you see what you see anything special about this? You see, I'll tell you what you see. You see color. You see color. And you see just about every story in this. Now, they're not all great, but the ones that aren't good are at least kind of enjoyably goofy. And they're all fun. They're all trying to have fun and action and color. And everybody, all the good guys gets along, and it's Batman and Superman. It's the two biggest selling, most popular characters DC has probably to this day. And they knew, they wanted, cool adventures together. And they wanted Superman all flying around and doing crazy stuff, and Batman being Batman, and, and all that. And they did that for years, for decades. And it worked great. And there was so much potential for something like that, but no, it wasn't. This movie was dark. And I don't just mean in terms of tone, although it certainly was that. I mean, it was dark. It was, look, this was a Batman movie. I mean, no, it was a Batman and Superman movie, but it was, Batman's name comes first. It's the first new version of Batman. What are the things you look forward to in a Batman movie, huh? Besides Batman himself, what do you look forward to? You look forward to... Batman has cool gadgets. He's got the Batmobile. He's got the Batwing. He's got all the cool, crazy stuff. You want to see, what's this new, latest thing? They built a new Batmobile for this. They built a new Batwing. They built these cool vehicles. You can't see any of them. You know why you can't see any of them? Because every single action sequence in here, or chase scene, it's a blur. It's a blur of it all takes place at night. It's very poorly lit. Seriously, there's like maybe 3 or 4 brief scenes in this movie that are set during the day. Otherwise, it's all at night. And, it's like a blur of never-ending these fast cuts and, action and it's like, it's chaos. It's, fire, explosions, dust, smoke, fog, endless sort of motion, people zipping here, zipping there. It never stays put. It's like, it's chaos. It's not even colorful chaos, because even though it's Superman and Wonder Woman, and you should be getting, these vibrant blues and yellows and reds and whites. No, you don't get that. You can't get that because it might think, whoa, we're not taking this seriously enough. We're not taking this seriously enough. Everything's got to be dark. Everything's got to be gloomy because that's the way the people, everybody's like, these cynical 45-year-olds who's like, these things, we want them dark and gritty these days. That's the tone. And so there's nothing... I know Batman is going to be dark. He's always dark these days. That's fine. But you can't see... I couldn't tell you what the new Batmobile looks like. Or the Batwing. Or, the Bat suit, for that matter. You see plenty of, the great big honking suit of armor that they show in the trailers. With the big glowy eyes and the... Because that's the scene where he beats the living crud muffins out of Superman. And that goes on for a long time. You see plenty of that, but, Superman might as well be a smear of gray in this movie. Wonder Woman might as well be like a smear of dirt with bronze highlights. You know, it's like I've been catching up on like the old sort of Wonder Woman TV show, and yeah, it's not all great, but Wonder Woman, she's there, she's red, she's white, she's blue, it pops. It's superheroes. It's vibrant colors and not here. Not here. It's just never ending. Look, I mean, I don't demand a lot from this sort of thing. I'm the sort of person who's fine when I don't demand that they stick directly to the comic. One of my first sort of big nerd movies, the one that kind of got me into comics really, was Batman Returns. And I know a lot of people have a problem with that. But, have problems with that. But I don't. I mean, it's certainly a flawed movie, but... And I wrote a full review of it over at Moon Reviewers if you want to check that out. But basically, it's... That movie, for all its flaws, is a unique artistic vision. And everything it gets wrong, it balances out with cool stuff. It's not like a literal representation of the comics, no, but it shows what they could be. Beautiful and strange and weird and artistic and dark and tragic and funny and I compare that to this movie, which is we've been waiting for years. We've been waiting for years. There's never been a movie like this in the DC animated canon. I mean, yeah, we animated. No, excuse me. In the DC live action, I mean, we've seen. Excuse me. Yeah, of course, there's been the Avengers and all that, but this Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, the big three. We've been waiting for decades. Decades. This wait, people have been talking about this movie, the potential for a movie like this since before I was born. Like, well before I was born. And it just kind of makes me like, why did we wait until now when everything has to be dark and grim and gritty and and except it doesn't, because the Avengers movies and the Marvel thing, they're colorful. They've got the reds and the greens and the and the Iron Man with the golds, and the Thor and and you can do color in a movie. You can still have it be colorful and super heroic and all that good stuff and still have it be dark. If you've got to have it be dark, it can still be... This... Well, it's not, but... The most interesting parts of this movie, I think, were the bits not focusing on Batman or Superman. I would have loved to have seen a bit more of Wonder Woman. Like I said, excuse me. Like I said, Gal Gadot does a good job, and not much setup is given for her, but she's interesting. We want to see more of her, and we will be seeing more of her in Wonder Woman, but as the anticipation in the movie is cool, and she's well played. And then there's the, this is all being set up for the Justice League, and that's the Justice League movie, and that stuff is, oh man, what a, I don't know if this is a PC term nowadays, but what a jip. I mean, I've been hearing, and I try and avoid sort of advanced spoilers and rumors and stuff, but I've been hearing for a long time now about, it's going to feature, it's not just going to feature Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, it's also going to feature Aquaman and Cyborg and the Flash, because that's I guess those are going to be our Justice Leaguers, and right, they could do better, but whatever. I mean, okay, fine. Those are they're in the Justice League now in the modern comics. Fine. I don't care, but it's all. This guy is going to be playing Aquaman, this guy is going to be playing Cyborg, and this guy is going to be playing the Flash. They literally, this isn't spoiling anything, they are literally in the movie for I think less than 30 seconds each. I mean, you know that bit in X-Men 2, the second X-Men movie, this is a while back now, but where I believe it's Mystique. Yes, it's Mystique. Sneaks into a government lab and is looking up something on one of their computers. And I don't remember, but it's she's looking through a list of known mutants. And at the time, I remember thinking, this is cool because it shows a bunch of names of characters from the comic that we haven't seen yet, and it's ooh, this is interesting. This is expanding the universe. This shows us that see, who were they? There was I think it showed Gambit's name and Beast's name and Psylocke's name, and a few that, and it was, oh cool, that's a nice little nod to that, and it kind of shows that these characters do exist and we might see them, goody. Well, that's about the extent of the appearance of the rest of the Justice Leaguers in this movie. And it's so, the movie so painfully, when it's not doing any of the Batman Superman stuff, it just jamming this in. It's oh, there are other superhumans, and we've got to find them, or there's this stuff on file. Lex Luthor, who is this, obsessed with this sort of stuff. He's got all these things on file, and he's got files on all these other characters, and that's just, those files are all we see. I don't even know if the characters got credited in the end credits. I don't remember. That is honestly pretty interesting. I mean, I kind of, I liked what little I saw of, I think Aquaman's got a kind of a cool design. I think, there's little bits like that, but it's so brief, and it's why even bother? Why not spend that energy, making the Batman-Superman thing a better Batman-Superman thing, instead of, I've talked about, it's a big blur, and all, but, this was all leading up to, a fight. A fight! That's big, the big draw for the movie. It's yet another. It's all Batman and Superman. They never get along these days. They're always fighting. It's always, oh, it's a fight, and someone's going to win. It's like, who's going to win? And all the Batman people are going, Batman's going to win. And all Superman say, no, Superman's going to win. Well, here's one minor spoiler. Batman wins. I mean, it's spoiler. Spoiler my hairy buttocks. Everybody knows Batman's going to win because the Batman fanboys, and let's face it, I'm one of them, but I'm not this kind of Batman fan. There's a certain kind of Batman fanboys, he can do anything, and he's going to win because he was in Dark Knight Returns, he stumped Superman down to the ground with his power armor, and he's wearing the power armor, so he's going, yes, he does the same thing here. And it's stupid. I mean, really, Batman comes off really badly in this movie. He's basically like, except he doesn't shoot, but he's like, shoot first, ask questions later. He literally basically does that at one point. It's like Superman says, hey, I don't want to fight, too bad! It's like, great. Thanks. I needed that. I needed more sort of proof that this character I genuinely love is nowadays, he all his subtlety is being stripped away from him, and he's going, bleh. But although the bleh isn't quite as much of a presence here as in the Dark Knight films, which is, we can be thankful for that. I still think the voice is a little bit silly, but it's Ben Affleck does a better job. But anyway, it's like, they fight and bite, they fight and bite and fight. And Batman basically wins. But that's not really a spoiler, because it's really a very incidental thing. It's like, the most of the movie is, oh, it's all leading to this, and that's not even and that's not even leading to it. And then it gets into, like, the end where, and here is something I won't spoil, because this is at least mildly interesting, but there's a character who, there's Lex Luthor, he's the villain, but then there's another character who gets brought in really at like essentially the last minute, I think within like the last 15 minutes of the movie, 15 to 20 minutes, and it's like, this is a major character. This is a major villain. I'm not telling you who, but let's just say this is someone who could easily have his own movie, his own sort of thing based around Superman battling him. In fact, I think there has been in like the animated thing, and some of you probably, oh, I know who it is, I can figure it out from clever clues, and because I've been following the rumors and so forth. Fine, good for you. Fine, whatever. I'm not telling you. But it's like, and all that leads up to is another fight scene. And, I like Wonder Woman, but she's only in that fight scene, and you barely see anything of her, and she's just, running around, more swoosh of motion, and you don't see anything she does. She's got a sword and a shield, and that's a freaking thing, but yeah, she's got a sword and a shield, because that's what Wonder Woman does nowadays. She's like a warrior, and she cuts people to pieces. Never mind the the standard sort of old school Wonder Woman who deflects bullets with her bracelets and no. Well, she does do something like that, but she's a warrior, so she's got a sword and a shield, and she's doing stuff with her sword and a shield that you can't see, and then you get the lasso of truth, and it's on screen for like 5 seconds, and Batman and Superman are zooming around, and you can't see them, and it's a blur, and fire and smoke, and I've been through all that, but it's like, look, this is an example of just how disorganized this movie was in terms of how it was shot and how confusing it was and how you had to pay close attention every second or you would get lost. There's a bit where Lois Lane is in trouble, and it's like, she's in trouble, she's in danger, and Lois Lane, she's a major supporting character. We want to see what happens to her, and it's like, it took me, like, several, maybe as much as, like, several minutes, or at least a minute, to even realize she was in danger, because this editing was, ugh. And, it's, other than that, there's not, when someone wasn't sort of speechifying about, this is, some, it's like the some men just want to watch the world burn, that bit from The Dark Knight. There's, the equivalent of that sort of several times, and people kind of dancing around clarity but never quite getting there. That sort of stuff that Christopher Nolan specializes in. And I know he's not, I don't think he's still involved in this. Well, if he is, well, his fingerprints are still to be seen. Let's see, even if he isn't involved. And Lex Luthor, let me just say a word about Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. I'll give him, Eisenberg, credit. He's not giving a bad overall performance, but he's just so out of control and babbling. He's like, the red capes are coming. The red capes are coming. You remember that from the trailer? That just comes out of nowhere, and he's like, he just basically, his thing is he never shuts up, and his motivations are very vague. It's something about, like, he's traumatized by, like, his own father's past. His father came from somewhere, and I don't remember, but yeah, it's like when I get out, when I finish watching a movie, like, that is showing when this one was, I like to, the best case scenario, and it's like what I kind of expect and hope for, is that I will get out of this movie saying, yeah, it's late, but I don't care, because that was cool. I mean, like, the last time, I better wrap this up. I am. I'm wrapping it up now. Starting to wrap up. The last time I went to a movie like this was the Mad Max Fury Road, and it was late, and there were kind of some, like, I won't say hoodlums, but kind of like rowdy types in the audience, and they were kind of making nuisance of themselves. And at one point, it was honestly, it was a little scary at a certain point, because, like, I was the only person there other than them at a certain point, and they were kind of making a noise at me, and it's like they might, I was a little scared, and it was late, and I was like kind of, but I got out of that movie feeling energized, because it was Mad Max Fury Road, and everybody knows now that that's a good freaking movie. And I was happy to see it. Yeah! This one, I finished, and I was waiting for the credits to finish rolling, because, see if there's anything at the end. There isn't. I'll spare you some time if you're... And it's like, I didn't feel energized. I felt worn out, and I felt miserable. It was like, I was standing there, and at a certain point, I had to resist the temptation, just kind of like sink to the ground and like huddle up and just kind of, I'm staying here, I'm just gonna stay here in the theater and hope no one notices me. That's how I felt. And you shouldn't feel that way after Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. You shouldn't. So yeah, that's my... I could say more, but I said basically... yeah, that is my review. I do not recommend this movie, but you're going to see it anyway. Let's face it, if you haven't seen it, you're going to see it. So just keep in mind that it is not, and you might like it, I don't know, everybody has different views on these things, but I didn't like it. I don't recommend it, but if you're going to see it, you know, don't see it late at night. Wait till a good time, maybe till it's come out on DVD, or, sometime when your mind is sharp and alert and you're, I don't know, everyone is different, but, so yeah, I am looking forward to the Wonder Woman thing, though, the Wonder Woman movie, though. I just really hope that the rest of the movies setting up the Justice League are not all like this. Please! A little color! A little... Ugh. Right. Anyway. That's my review. And just briefly, for those who've been... I should say that I have... I know it's been a long time since I put up videos, but I'm working on one now on my... the editing is put together. It should be up before too long. Sometime this month, I hope. It certainly should. And I've got stuff on the way. So, sorry for the long wait, but I'm back in action, and I'm going to try my best to stay back in action. That's it. That's it, and holy... Ugh, I've blathered on again. But yeah, that's the review. And yeah, yay, Superman. Alright, bye.